just under his spell. Welcome, cursed ones.
Good evening, everyone. It's your worst nightmare and dream come true. I'm Adrian Hallowell, broadcasting live to you. How is everybody doing this evening? Right off the bat, theft. I hope you are all doing well this Wednesday evening. It's been a little bit of a weird day. Not the best day, not the worst day. But I hope you're all doing okay. Yesterday was Gamescom. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And some other stuff before we get into the game today. today I was actually intending to play more Agent 64, or at least attempting to, after it went so poorly last time on my computer. But even just using my computer today has been kind of a shit show. I don't know what's wrong with it right now, it's just really slow. So I decided, you know what, let me not put that strain on my laptop, and we're gonna play more Cronos the New Dawn today. I only showed up towards the end. How was the beginning? We're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about the show and kind of recap it a little bit, at least as much as I can recap off of the top of my head. We're gonna talk about that. But before that, yes, welcome in everybody. Welcome in Augustine, and welcome in Alandria. Congratulations on getting first. I won't lie, when I read your message there, it said fastest in the West today, I was very tempted to start playing the song from Alone in the Dark 3. But I didn't let my urges to troll you get the better of me. Not this time. I don't want to be hit with a bunch of exercise redeems as as retribution. I appreciate your self-control. But yes, Gamescom. So the show was okay yesterday. It wasn't great, and it wasn't the worst. I am just disappointed because there was no Resident Evil there. I was really hoping that we would get to see more footage of Veronica, or at least the RE9 DLC. But unfortunately, that was not to be. What was there was okay. There was a couple of standout games. Turok looks interesting. I'm happy that that series is continuing. Final Fantasy VII Revelation looks good, although I have not played any of the remake games yet, outside of playing the demo for the first one. I do own it now on Switch 2, but I do not have the memory space to install the game, so I need to actually get an SD Express card so I can play that. The file size on that game is massive, but I do intend to play it on stream once I'm able to obtain one of those cards. There was a game called, I think it's Ananta or something like that. It's that anime GTA game that I do find very interesting. I have no idea how that game is going to go. I feel like it's pretty much destined to be a hit unless it's unless it plays poorly or is really glitchy. Mainly just because the concept is so... It sounds like something people would want to play, right? And it's been getting a lot of attention, so I can easily see that game doing well. I am just leery of how they're going to monetize it, because it is a free-to-play game, and for all of that work that's going into it, it certainly looks like a pretty big budget game. So I feel like the monetization is probably going to be quite predatory, but you know, I could be wrong. I have no idea how they're going to do it. Maybe people will like the game enough, and just I guess charging for new characters might carry it, right? Not sure. But I mean, it looked okay. The trailer was a bit all over the place, but like all of the mechanics seem quite varied, and the characters all seem like they have personality, so I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. The one that really caught my attention, I think it was called the Silver Palace or something like that. It also had an anime art style. It looked like a detective game crossed with a Resident Evil game, and I don't have to tell you that that was obviously going to get my attention. I thought that looked really interesting. I could have sworn it said it was only on PS5 on console, which would be really annoying, but wouldn't surprise me. I do need to look into it. If that is the case, then it's another one of those games I'm just gonna have to chalk up to when I get a desktop. But, yeah, I mean, that game looked fun. What else? I know they ended the show with The Witcher 3. I've never played any of the Witcher games. I haven't really had a huge interest in it. Not because I really have anything against it, I just am not really a huge fan of medieval settings, honestly. Hold on. Sorry if you heard that. There was a very, very loud vehicle outside. Hopefully that didn't blow your eardrums out. But yes, anyway. I'm not really a huge fan of medieval settings, honestly. I do think that they work sometimes, but I don't know. I feel like they need to have a little extra something to them for me to truly take interest. So, for me, I wasn't too thrilled by it, but I was happy to see that they are doing the remastered edition for free for those people who already own the game. That is very, very cool of them. And not something that you really see nowadays, so always appreciated when a company is not trying to gouge your pocket. Didn't hear a thing? Great. Outside of that, can't remember if there was anything else. There was Crazy Taxi, which I'm excited for. There hasn't been a new Crazy Taxi game in a very long time. I think since 2001 or 2002. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Everything that at least I mentally cataloged. There was a few other things that looked interesting, but nothing that I can see myself, I guess, playing. Well, there was that one hotel game. The one where it's like investigating like a murder or ghost or something like that. Kind of has like a musical aspect to it. I could see myself enjoying that. I do remember when that was revealed at an earlier Xbox show, and it did have my curiosity. But again, I think that's an Xbox console exclusive, so another one to chalk up for a future PC or a future potential Switch 2 release. But yes, for those of you that watched Gamescom, was there any games that you found yourself interested in? I'd be very curious to hear about that. I know there was Frictional's new game, the creators of Soma and Amnesia and Penumbra. That looked pretty interesting. Very gnarly. I really did like the grotesque nature of it. I would have to see more of it. It looked very similar to Soma, except in space. Let me think. And then, yeah, there was Pony Island 2, right? That was kind of surprising. I did not think that they would return to Pony Island after doing Inscription. So that was pretty cool to see that they would go back to it. Because one of the things that made Pony Island work was that it was such a deceptive game. If you didn't know about it going into it, it caught you off guard. Kind of like that game Frog Fractions. So I am kind of surprised that they're returning to Pony Island instead of making like a new deceptive kind of game. But yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad they're making another one. I enjoyed watching... I think I watched Manly Badass Hero play Pony Island, if I'm not mistaken, years ago. And I really enjoyed it, so I am glad to see that they're doing another one. I mean, I mentioned Pony Island 2, but I still haven't played one. Definitely on my list, though. Yeah, I'd like to see you play that. I just find myself wondering when we're gonna see Resident Evil again. I'm thinking probably the Game Awards in December, which scarily is not that far off. So, if that is the case, then I can deal with it. It is just sad that it did not show up there. Hey, welcome in, Effecto. How are you doing this evening? Dandy, welcome in. Thank you for the hydrate. Honestly, I could use it. I forgot to mention at the start of stream, but yes, it is really, really hot today. Very, very hot, so I could definitely use the hydrate. To answer your question though, Effecto, I'm doing alright. Kind of a weird day, but it is what it is. I never really knew these kinds of events existed, so I've never really thought about searching for games that way. I had fun. I'm glad you had fun. Yeah, my intent is to do little things like that for each show. Because I tend to watch pretty much every show that airs all of the gaming events and stuff like that. Because I just enjoy it, you know? I miss E3, which for those of you that never followed it, or I guess are too young now, E3 was the Electronic Entertainment Expo, and it was pretty much gaming Christmas. Every developer that was going to attend would show up during the summer, and it would be a non-stop burst of news, and it was very, very fun. I still miss it dearly, because Summer Games Fest is not a good replacement. Sorry, Jeff. Kidnap chat and send them to Starship Troopers. Welcome in, Navajo Ghost. Yes, I'm glad I got to catch one of your streams, Navajo Ghost. Navajo Ghost was playing Resident Evil 4 Remake yesterday. I actually think Navajo Ghost might have been live earlier as well, but I did not get the chance to, tune in because I had a very busy day. Hold on. Good thing I double-checked that, because there was quite the typo there. But yes, follow Navajo Ghost. Navajo Ghost streams, and is a very good shot, by the way. I don't think I've ever watched anybody so accurate playing Resident Evil 4 Remake before. Almost nailing every single shot. Very, very fast on the draw. Some real John Wick type stuff. So please do follow Navajo Ghost. Hold on. Sorry, my computer is again being very, very slow today. So there might be a little bit of a delay between the songs, so I do apologize for that. All right, there we go. Let me try to catch up. It's fun because it lets me engage with games as a hobby rather than just a thing that happens. You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I want to do more of the, thank you for the lurk, Dandy. Drive safely, and we will see you when you return. Yeah, I intend to do more, I intend to do more of those, like I said, each event. Maybe eventually I'll start live streaming them. But for now, I kind of like just getting to sit back and not have to worry about managing OBS and things like that. So I kind of enjoy just doing the Discord live chat. Sally was actually live streaming it, and I was hanging out in his chat, as well as in the server's chat for the event. So we'll see how it goes in the future, but I do want to continue to do those little things as we move forward, just because it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm starting Separate Ways this morning. I don't know if you've played Separate Ways before. If you haven't, I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's really good. If you have, then I do wonder your thoughts on it, Navajo Ghost, because I thought it was pretty well done. I actually really liked the remake version of Separate Ways more than the original. Because Separate Ways in the original RE4 is okay, but you can definitely tell that it was developed after the fact. It's not as strong as the main game, even though it's still fun. But there's certain things that just definitely don't live up to the quality of the original title. Whereas in the remakes Separate Ways, I feel like the quality is equally on par. And very, very comparable to the main game. And I like that they remixed certain events within it. Very, very well executed. It's very different than the original. Yeah, absolutely. You should see the Fortnite clip where I missed my shots. We all miss shots in shooting games. It's no big deal. I don't think that is worth overwriting how incredible your accuracy was in the stream that I was watching yesterday. That was really cool. I was really enjoying it. You were really making the game look like a John Wick game. Onion skins are naturally evil. I'm so sleepy too, but my foam clay heart won an extra point, so I'm happy. What do you mean you won an extra point? Oh, never mind, I understand. That's great news, Effecto. I'm really happy to hear that. Congratulations, I'm glad that your hard work paid off. I knew that it would. But yeah, we'll see about future events. Speaking of future events, my hope is that since we didn't get Resident Evil at this event, my next thing that I'm looking forward to is whenever the next Nintendo Direct is. Because I'm hoping we finally get to see the Ocarina of Time remake. That is my most anticipated game. Hey, welcome in, Purple. Thank you for the lurk. No worries. Do what you have to do. Welcome in, and thank you for checking in. Yeah, I'm really excited for whenever they show off Ocarina of Time. So I'm hoping that ends up being sooner rather than later to make up for likely no Resident Evil news until December at the earliest. So I would really appreciate that. Hopefully Nintendo says something soon about that. That is my favorite game of all time, and just the thought of playing it again in that way is very, very exciting. I do intend to do a Ocarina of Time classic playthrough before the remake drops, because I want to have that experience and then play the remake and try to see all the things that have changed. I've heard the summonings. Did anyone mention Ocarina of Time? Yes, it was I. Welcome in, Sally. I hope you're doing well this evening. We were just recapping Gamescom. I was expressing my disappointment about no Resident Evil, but saying it was an okay show, and reasserting my excitement for the Ocarina of Time remake and my hope that we see it soon. I'm gonna have to put all my hope on that because I don't think we're seeing anything Resident Evil until December at the earliest. Speaking of which, so there's a guy I've kind of mentioned in passing before, that always tends to leak some Resident Evil and other Capcom-related stuff with a fair degree of accuracy. I'd say usually around 80% correct. And he spoke a little bit on the absence of Veronica from the show yesterday, and I thought that his claims were interesting. Of course, whether they're accurate or not, who knows? But he claimed, at least, that the likely reason why Veronica was not there is because they are still, like, basically in the stage of development where they are finalizing what the release date is going to be, which means it could be soon, could be a little further back than we're used to, but essentially his sources say they don't really know yet, which makes it even more likely that December will probably be the time that we get a trailer with a release date or something like that. But evidently, according to him, he is not expecting the RE9 DLC until late next year, which is crazy to me, but apparently, again, all depends on how much you trust random internet leakers and their sources, even though this guy has been accurate before, you know, things happen. According to him, Capcom has had a little bit of a philosophy change about DLC. Basically, at least as it pertains to Resident Evil. According to him, they feel like there is a void in the Resident Evil catalog where spin-offs used to be. And since we have not had a Revelations game or anything like that for a long time, apparently they are using DLC as a way to fill that gap. So they're putting more work into the DLC to make them feel like more substantial standalone things than they have in the past. So not just tacked on things, but apparently the philosophy, according to him, moving forward, is for the DLCs to feel more like separate ways from RE4 Remake. That is, something that could feel like its own game. So if that's the case, and it's more separate ways than, say, Shadows of Rose, that's fine by me, but it does make me wonder how, again, I still wonder what this is going to be. The other interesting detail about this is that he claimed that at least what he heard is that they will be supposedly using the axed concept from the main game, which is revisiting the Spencer Mansion grounds. Which would be insane to me, but again, that is only what he claims he's heard, and of course these things can change. They could do an Outbreaky DLC. I would be so happy with that. I would be very, very happy with that. Hello, I don't know who donated to my PC, fund over on Ko-Fi, but thank you so much for the donation, someone. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I was actually going to talk a little bit about that. I guess I should probably mention it now. First of all, again, I know I said it just now, but thank you. Seriously, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And, at this rate, I should just make an account. Was it you? Thank you, Augustine. I really appreciate that. You know, it's funny, I actually did get my CPU today. It finally arrived. Looks okay. So I stored it with the other parts that I have right now, which isn't many. I just have the CPU and the GPU right now. So we're getting there slowly. Very slowly. The fund that I currently have going on my Ko-Fi is for the motherboard. And, yeah, that is currently where we are at, while I'm also trying to get some RAM. I'm probably gonna take care of that one myself without any donations. I just have to price it out. We'll see about that. But yes, we're getting there slowly but surely, and thank you so much, Augustine. I really appreciate that. I can't remember to type my name for the life of me. That's okay. Thank you. I know this isn't much, but I can do this, at least in the immediacy. Yes, everybody please follow Augustine. He is a super talented artist and streamer. And if you don't already follow him, you should. And support him. He is also on VGen. And I'm assuming at least he is still taking commissions right now. If that is the case, you should consider, if you like any of the incredible art that you see on my art carousel, up in the top right corner, most of that was by Augustine. So you should consider commissioning him for a piece. As you can see, you will not regret it. The quality of his art is on another level, quite frankly. Wait, no? Wait, yes. Steal all of chat's money and give it to Adrian's PC. Yeah, we're getting there slowly, but hopefully surely. I do hope that by the end of this, I will be able to do more cool things for you guys on stream. That is the goal. I try all I can with this laptop, but, you know, there's only so much you can do on such little horsepower, and this thing is quite old, actually, too. I think this thing is... I think I've had this laptop for about 7 years, maybe? I think maybe 7 years. So I'm pushing this thing quite hard, honestly. The only real upgrade that this laptop has had was the RAM, which I purchased before the RAM apocalypse. Because actually, when I started streaming, I was only streaming with 8 gigs of RAM. Don't ask me how. I ended up upgrading to 16. Not enough cash, stranger. How many games do you have installed? On my laptop, Effecto? Right now, probably just Agent 64. I usually, I use what they call the cleaning the fridge method, which is anytime that I am done with a game, I will uninstall it, so that way I can open up space, because I don't have a whole lot of room on this laptop. It is unfortunately not outfitted with much memory. And I do have other programs on here and such, so, that does eat into it as well. I don't speak computer, but that sounds rough. I don't speak much computer either, so no worries, Effecto. Oh my god, Twinsy streaming with 8 gigs is how I know, right? I don't even know how I did it initially. I honestly have no clue. Even though my laptop is still struggling with all of this, I don't know how I did it with 8 gigs. If I'm not mistaken, I think I might have even done one PC gaming stream with the 8 gigs as well. I think I played, I did RV There Yet with the Miscreants. And I think that stream was on 8 gigs of RAM. And I don't know how I did it. I really don't, looking back on it. Also, guess who figured out how to make the onion skins work? I can guess. Would it by any chance have been you, Augustine? Yeah. I only speak enough computer to ask where the bathroom is. Down the hall, to your right. I'm glad you figured that out though, Augustine. Are we getting onion rings? Onion rings are delicious, Effecto. Also, welcome back, Dandy. But yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. Hey, Azza, welcome in. Hello, I'm so eepy but wanted to pop in. Thank you for dropping by. Always appreciate you. Yeah, no, trust me, I completely get it. It's been a weird day for me, and I am actually quite tired as well. I considered fetching an energy drink before going live, but I opted not to. Might still grab one if I feel myself struggling, but right now I'm okay. But yes, always great to see you, and I do appreciate you making time to drop by. We're all very eepy here on YouTube, it seems. Oh, trust me, not just on YouTube. We stay eepy here. Now, telling you, onion skins as an animation. It's the feature most programs have where you can see prior frame at a lowered opacity to help make the animation smooth. Very interesting. Which, you know, actually talking about art, I've been working on something, something I've been trying to do for a while now. I don't know how it's going to play out, but, hold on, this went by too fast. Hope the rest of stream goes well, night-night. Have a great rest of your night, Effecto. Azza. Please do sleep well, and thank you for dropping by. I really, really do appreciate it. Sounds fancy and complicated. I love how big brain digital artists are. Yeah, definitely. Speaking of digital artists, Azza is also an artist, and you should definitely give Azza a follow. Effecto. Heard art stream. Same, both Awakening Link sleeper agents. I don't know if you would qualify it as art. I kind of talked about this a little bit, that I've been doing like 3D modeling and stuff like that for something I'm trying to make. I wish I could talk about it, but it would ruin the surprise. I'm not sure how any of it's going to turn out. Is it a cauldron? I actually already made a cauldron. If you remember the video that I did, for the... God, why is the word escaping me? The gender swap model. The cauldron in that video, I actually did make myself. I mean, it's nothing to really brag about. It wasn't hard, but, yeah. Hi, welcome in, Dark. Everybody, Dark Weaver actually finished Resident Evil 0 today. She had a very entertaining stream. And she also had her, celebration stream recently. For 50 followers, which was great. So if anybody here doesn't follow her, please do give her a follow. She's fantastic, and yeah, we can definitely get that number even higher, because she deserves it. It was quite painful towards the end, but very enjoyable. Yeah, you were going through it. You were going through it. Maybe it's the burbs. Chad is a black burb, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the cursed ones are in fact they are in fact crows. That includes you, Effecto. Listen, it didn't crash your PC to use it, so it means it was good. So the thing is, I actually did not make it on PC. I made it on Dreams, which is a PS4 game, if you want to call it that. It can be played as a game because you can make games on there. It is a game making tool, but you can also use it to make art and all kinds of other stuff, music. It's a very versatile engine. That is what I use it on, and I'm also using Dreams for the thing that I am currently using, or making rather. Because trust me, if I tried to download like Blender and make stuff on there, I don't think my computer could handle it. That's something for maybe when I get my desktop, not right now. So I'm having to use Dreams for stuff. Remember, I called the one with the silvery wings. Watching you master Blender would be so entertaining. I would definitely not be mastering it. Blundering my way through Blender. Maybe. Not mastering it. I actually did consider doing a stream today of working on some of the stuff I was doing on Dreams for all of you. Like doing some practice models, but I don't want to spoil what I'm working on, so for now I'm just gonna have to work in the dark, and then once I eventually do hopefully get this up to an acceptable level to reveal it, then I will go ahead and start doing more streams where I work on things on Dreams for you guys to watch as I do that, if that's something you all would be interested in. No spoilers, please, only predictions. Do I get to call Green-Eyed Bird? You know, if I get to a point where I can actually make some cute crows for all of you, you guys can go ahead and make lists of what you would want, and then I will try to recreate them. Some VTubers actually do that, where they draw special versions of like their you know, their mascot representative of their fan base, and then they'll make like a character sheet of them. Sadly, I'm not that skilled to do something like that, even in 3D, so... But if I get to a point where something is acceptable, then, we'll see. the dark? That was your sleeper agent wake up phrase, Sally. Definitely got up quite early today. How's everyone doing? I am also quite, I presume the implied thing in that sentence is that you are tired, Dark, and I am also quite tired. I have also been up since earlier. Didn't really get a whole lot of sleep, but again, that is I feel like it's quite redundant for me to even state that at this point. Isn't tarot kind of like a life spoiler, though? I would not say that. Tarot is not set in stone. It can definitely call some things early, I think, but life is always changing, you know. Would you get stream avatars? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think Akira has them, right? Hey, welcome in, Bulgay. How are you doing this evening? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. It's heavy raining here. I'm waiting for some sticks to arrive. I'm so cold. Still working, we'll be off soon. Hell yeah, hopefully soon comes sooner than later. So you can, maybe you can relax a bit. Maybe hang out with us. That would be great. We're gonna be playing some more, less than 20 minutes? Hell yeah. Almost there. Yeah, we're gonna be playing more Cronos the New Dawn in a little while, but we're just, chatting for now. We were, recapping Gamescom. I was thanking Augustine for donating to my, PC motherboard fund. What else did we talk about? We were talking about the 3D art. I will say, if you're looking into it, I know a guy who's made a lot of custom ones. I want to get some once I have more RAM. That would be really cute. God, we're all hungry for RAM. I miss the evil retail lady. I'm wrapped around like a burrito. Yes, stay warm, Effecto. How was Gamescom? Gamescom was alright. It wasn't a bad show. I'm mainly just disappointed that we didn't get to see Resident Evil. I thought it was gonna be there and it wasn't, sadly. But it wasn't a bad show. I can't complain too much. There was one game that I really did find very interesting. It was called Silver Palace, I think. It's like an anime-style detective / Resident Evil looking game. So I really was into that. But other than that, everything else looked okay, to varying degrees. Indeed, I need the AI bubble to pop already, don't we all? Yeah. Yes, indeed. Don't even get me started on that. I am so irritated with seeing how prevalent all of that has become. Nothing we haven't already talked about, so there's no need to beat a dead horse. It's just depressing every time you see it, you know? Adrian Silver Palace is a gacha. I had a feeling that would be the case. Is it like a gacha that has like a definitive like story that you can actually play through to the end? Because I think like Honkai Star Rail has like a story you can play through to an end, right? If I'm not mistaken. I'm so sick and tired of that shit. My boss had someone try to sell her AI fabrics today. The pattern was AI generated. Ew. Why would anybody want that? That is very, very bizarre. I think it does have a story, not sure it has an end. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. If it has like a story you can play through, I would like to try it, but if it's one of those things where it's just essentially a framework for you to just endlessly spend money, then yeah, I'll pass, even though it does look good, but I will pass in that case. They wouldn't. That's why they had to sell it. Yeah. Good point. It's just so weird, like, there's no thought behind it, you know? Like, the reason you would buy something like that is for the, intentionality of the work. Why would you just want to randomly generate something and then just throw it out there? It's like, you might as well just scribble on a piece of paper and then sell that for what it's worth, and that takes more artistic skill. There are some very, very well-designed scribbles out there. People want money fast. Yeah, that is true. With the least amount of work needed, yeah. Nearly half of their catalog was AI too. It looked like shit, and my boss came up to complain about it before I pointed out it was AI. I hate this timeline, bro. So do I, Augustine. So do I. I think what bothers me so much is like... I have no energy left, but fuck it, I want cabbage rice. Well, you know what? You deserve it, Effecto, so, you make yourself some delicious cabbage rice. Yeah, I think what really, frustrates me is how people are just kind of giving up, you know? It's like every layer of humanity is just disappearing. People are happy to be the worst people they can be in terms of their shitty attitudes and behavior. They don't care about the arts. They don't care about anything. It's like we're just seeing a whole new level of apathy and nihilism unleashed, and it is exactly as shitty as you would expect it to be. And really sucks when you're caught in the middle of it. You know, you can't exactly get away from it, even if you try to tune everything out. Which, I mean, I've never been one to do that because I like to be abreast of what's going on in the world. But even if you try to tune it out, you really can't, because everyone around you is partaking in all of this nonsense, you know? It really sucks. We need to make bad stuff, as in unfinished, unpolished, ugly, messy things when we create. Yes, that is part of the process of learning anything. And there's plenty of things that are technically unfinished, or that did not go the way the artist intended, that still is very, very good, you know what I mean? There's plenty of paintings and statues and music, movies, games, books, things that were left unfinished or interrupted or were not up to the quality standards of what their creator wanted, that are still fantastic. You know? So many ideas left on scrap paper. I hear that, Bulgay. Yeah, same here. So many. I have notebooks that are probably older than some people in this chat with ideas of stuff I've never actually created. Because I do hang on to those things, you never know. I've had ideas for stuff that has just sat in a drawer somewhere, and then I've resurrected it years and years down the line when I finally felt like I had the right idea to make it happen, you know? Was here semi-AFK though. Was going over a bit of the games revealed at Gamescom with my friend, as I didn't get to see it yesterday. Oh, no worries, Dark. I hope you and your friend found a good, decent amount of games to get excited for. It was a pretty decent show, even if I was sad about Resident Evil. But there was stuff there to look forward to. Well, now I have to finish this animation. I was considering letting it join the dead animation ideas pile. I think you can do it, Augustine. Don't let it hit that pile. Yes, a work in progress drawer, yeah. It's like a time capsule effect, though. I'm surprised they wishlisted the same things as you. That's fun. I guess it goes to show why you're friends, right? That great minds do think alike. But yeah, I do recommend for everybody that does partake in creation to never fully discard your ideas. A lot of times when people get really mad because things are not turning out the way they want it to, they will just trash everything or delete them from their computer or whatever. Don't do that. Be very patient, because you never know when something might end up becoming viable down the line, or you might end up taking bits and pieces from an old idea and using it in something new. I can't tell you how many times I have done that. In fact, the funny part is, I would say that honestly, part of the reason why I'm even sitting here, you know, broadcasting to all of you is a lot of failed projects that I have worked on. Back in the day, I used to actually work with, I say work, but it's making it sound cooler than it is, but I used to attempt to work with MMD, that's Miku Miku Dance, a long time ago. And working with that actually kind of helped me learn how to do things like pose 3D models and do all kinds of things that has helped me with working with my model and things like that. I used to make... I've talked about this in the past on stream, but I used to actually make shows and like on Windows Movie Maker and programs like that, and write like full little shows and stuff like that, and I would use either MMD or just still images from anime and stuff like that to just make little silly things and give it a narrative, and I would add music and all kinds of stuff. They weren't, they may not have been great, but it did help me to learn how to do some video editing, and I have used those so-called skills in my YouTube videos. Because as it turned out, some of those movie makers were not so different from Windows Movie Maker, so I did manage to have some transferable skills there, if you wish to phrase it that way. So yeah, even a lot of the stuff that I've been putting to use for streaming and VTubing has kind of had a bedrock of a lot of failed projects from a long time ago. So yeah, never discard your work and never discount the things that you have done, because sometimes they actually come in handy in a weird way that you would never expect. You know what I mean? Because I definitely could not tell you back in the day when I was doing any of those things that I ever would have imagined sitting here talking to all of you, so. You know, my head and eyes were hurting until I realized I don't have my glasses on. Hold on. Definitely get on that, Effecto. Don't put yourself through that. Stop getting cooler. I can't catch up. Augustine, you don't need to catch up because you're already way cooler than me. Sorry to be the one to break it to you. You don't need to catch up. That's so cool. I remember Windows Movie Maker made such a cool WoW PvP video. Yeah, Windows Movie Maker was... that thing was so unstable. It would constantly break, it would constantly freeze. But you know what? Damn it, it was a great tool. And I miss when it was, when it came with every installation of Windows XP. Alright, Freedom, now to fight downtown traffic. Oh no. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. Be safe, Bulgay. take your time, and yeah, please drive safe. And hopefully we see you when you come back. Oh my god, Windows Movie Maker mentioned? Yeah. I miss the constant crashes and freezes. They were constant. You had to, you eventually learned to hit the save button after literally every single thing that you did. Because otherwise you would lose a lot of progress and hate yourself for it. Awful, especially in your town. God, is it that bad? Slowly what I'm starting to do with Krita. Yeah, I mean, anytime you're doing something, like I even do it with Dreams, you just need to save after literally every single thing. It takes 1 second, and you'll hate yourself less. There's nothing worse than working on a project for like 2 hours, realizing you never hit save, and then either the power goes out, or it freezes and crashes, or... yeah. 35 miles, Andy. 35 miles, and it's going to take 55 plus minutes. Holy shit. That is, yeah, that's awful, Bulgay. That is rough. Hang in there. Yeah, that is, that's the time where it would probably be good to have, something to snack on, or, something really good to listen to in the car. Either a great album, or a podcast or something, you know? Now I have to deal with software that just works. It's not fair. You use DaVinci Resolve, right, Dark? I want to use it, but I don't think it would work well on my laptop. So, that's something I'm saving for the desktop down the line. No worries, Bulgay. Be safe. And take your time. Watch out for idiot drivers. Adrian, I think you're what he's listening to on the drive. If that's the case, I'll try my best to be as entertaining as possible. I feel you, man. I used to live in the city and I had to take the freeway to get to work. Never again. Ugh. Yeah, I wanna try using DaVinci Resolve, Dark, but definitely not something I'm keen to try on my laptop. So gonna need to wait on that one. Not too entertaining though, that's cause for distraction. Well, I don't think you have to worry about me being too entertaining. So surprised you knew. I used to use Cyberlink Power Director for the longest time, which I may add is very unreliable in comparison. Can only recommend DaVinci Resolve, which has been way more stable and reliable to work with. You actually did tell me. So that was not a case of me being psychic. I will take a little bit of psychic credit for guessing your 2 favorite FPS games, though. That was a complete shot in the dark. No pun intended. I don't know, man. Have you watched your streams? Good shit right there. Thank you, Augustine. Oh, I completely forgot. That, though, honestly shocked me to no extent. That literally never happens. Big credit. I'm proud to take credit for that. You dropped your rice. Effecto, how did that happen? When you say that, do you mean like there's rice all over the floor right now, or like just a bit? Because if you spilled a ton of rice everywhere, that sounds like a nightmare. Hit Control Z. The lid was loose, and yes, rice all over the floor. Oh no. God, that sucks. I'm so sorry, Effecto. Oh no, I'm good at dropping stuff too. Yeah, I'm really sorry, Effecto. That is the worst. I see those videos a lot, like, sometimes if I want to laugh, I'll watch, like fail compilations or something. And the ones that get me is when people have, like, a whole plate of, like, delicious-looking food, and then they spill it all over the ground or all over the floor. Oh my god. What gets me, though, is, like, I can understand when it's, like, just a complete freak accident. Like, something happens that cannot be accounted for, right? Like, sometimes I've seen ones where people are, cooking, and then the handle breaks off of the pan. Like, you can't predict that unless you knew your pan was, falling apart and you just did not get a new one. So that is what it is. Like, it sucks, it still makes you cringe, but it's like, you feel terrible. The ones where I don't feel terrible, and it just makes me wonder what is wrong with people, is when they hold things up for the camera, and they do it at such an awkward angle. Like, instead of just taking the camera when they want to show off their food and just hovering it over the plates or whatever, they pick up the plate and then they just kind of like go limp-wristed and let it dangle at an angle. Not trying to rhyme there. And then the food slides right off the plate. I hate that, because they do it with phone unboxing videos too, where they try to show off the phone, and then it just goes falling and cracking immediately. That always drives me crazy. You're not a fool, Effecto, just bad luck. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it happens. I think the other thing that I really hate too is when people, and we talked about this during the, I think it was back during the Go Vacation stream. I hate when people have perfectly good food and then they immediately go and shove it in somebody's face or whatever. Like, not only is that such a waste of food, but it's so annoying. Like, I could not... I don't understand how people could be friends with someone like that, or, like, when you see it during these people's, like, wedding videos, like, when they're, about to get married, and then they shove their, significant other's face into the cake and stuff like that. Like, what is wrong with you? Speaking of dropping stuff, my salsa, I'm sorry, keyboard. Be right back. I used to laugh at that until I randomly started falling over, and now I can't. Rice clean, but I hate to waste food. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Effecto. I know I was mentioning the other day that I had seaweed chips. And I actually cracked them open the other day to have some, because I was super duper hungry. And the bag was so tight, like from the air pressure or whatever, that when I opened it, even though I was not even manhandling it, it popped open just because of how full of air it was. And some of the chips fell on the floor, and I was so pissed off. I was so upset about that. I swear to God, I hate those cake videos. Yeah, me too. Me too. I really don't understand how some people find it funny to do that to other people. Especially with, like, a birthday or, a wedding, you know? It's like you're just trying to enjoy your day, and then all of a sudden you end up covered in cake, embarrassed, and then you have to, go and wash that all out, like... Just, who wants to do that? Just, ugh. Very annoying. Thank God I know my wife would never waste cake. I agree, silly. Hand Kitty the cake instead. At least it was dry rice. That is true effect, though. Yeah. At least it's easy to sweep up, you know? Don't know why OBS is running so slow today. Keep having to look over and check on it. I don't think I like guacamole. Why? What made you dislike it? I think we're having a recall on some dip here in the US, right? Actually, a better question is what isn't being recalled in the US right now? Last I checked, it was, of course, the lettuce. Yeah, it's lettuce. It's blueberries. Eye drops. Bean sprouts. Something else. There's like a lot of other things that are being recalled right now. Yeah, I think dip. It's insane. Everything is contaminated. I gave it a shot, but my taste buds are confused. Guac can be bad, but good guac is heaven. It should taste more like more than smushed avocados. Yeah, I tend to like guacamole, but yeah, I can definitely see where a bad experience with that could be a real turnoff. My god, my workplace got so much lettuce right after the recall, and now we can't get rid of any of it, even though it's not the recall lettuce. That sucks because, of course, it's probably going to result in a lot of wasted food, but I don't blame people for not wanting to eat it with what's going around. Might be this brand. I believe this is the first time I'm trying it. That makes sense. Yeah, it's insane how much is being recalled right now. And you feel like you can't eat anything. Why is all that food being recalled exactly? Because, Dark, the current administration believes in freedom. And freedom means, we don't need all of that, oversight and restrictions on trying to make sure that food and water is safe to consume. That's, pick your favorite buzzword. That's woke. That's DEI. That is, whatever stupid ass fucking word that they invent. And, the end result is, when you don't have adequate people to, look after food production, food gets contaminated. I don't know if you knew that, but it seems like there's a lot of people who are just now discovering that. And there you go. I literally just gifted my bestie lime chips as I sneakily asked him for his favorite chips and gifted them. Lime chips are delicious. Haven't had them in quite a bit, but they are really, really good. I like how you summarized it, Andrea. We still have so much goddamn lettuce, I will never be free. Ah yes, freedom. Tastes like recalled lettuce and river water. And raw milk. Don't forget about raw milk. Happy to live in another country, but the fear still gets me. You are very lucky to live in another country. Effecto. But yeah, no, I totally understand what you mean. Because sometimes, you know, these recalls are not due to, you know, incompetence and such. Obviously, things happen, and that's not good. But yeah. But you're definitely in a better position, especially because other countries have much higher standards for the quality of their food supply than we do here in the US, even when we're not being terrorized by a orange sack of shit. So yeah. Even on the best of days, we're the worst. To be blunt. Oh god, the fucking raw milk. I know, I don't understand why anyone would, don't even get me started. Pasteurizing milk. Augustine is woke. Ending up in the hospital and nearly dying from food poisoning. That's freedom. The raw milk was the equation of the carnivore diet. Unfortunately, I don't envy my friends in the US right now. Yeah. I don't envy us either. I quite like lettuce, but seeing all this happen with food makes me glad I live in farm territory. Free, fresh food. Yeah, that is good. It is a shame, because I also do also quite like lettuce. I do enjoy a good salad. Of course, lettuce can go with so many different things. So it's sad to see that right now it's so untrustworthy. I'm glad we can agree on lettuce is good. Yes, lettuce is fantastic. Lettuce is delicious, and there's so many different ways that you can use it in a dish, you know? Yes, lettuce is indeed delicious. All I ask right now is that they spare the spinach, please. Please, please spare the spinach. Opinions on cabbage? I like cabbage. Cabbage is delicious. And again, cabbage can be prepared in many different ways as well. I know that's something that some people have some harsh opinions on, which is fair. I mean, of course, across the board, everybody has their own opinions, but I can see where cabbage might not be for everyone. But I do find cabbage to be quite delicious, personally. I just need my corn. Corn is delicious. I actually had some really, really delicious corn recently, Dark. At least I know my cabbage was grown by a guy with dirt on his feet named Juan, whose wife has an affair, but he can't pay the divorce. Why is he telling me this? I just want my cabbage. Bok choy sliced thin goes great as an add-in for some home ramen. I understood that reference, Dandy. I always used to laugh at that watching Avatar. God, I miss that show. That was such a great recurring gag. I swear I could eat tons. Yeah, I think probably my favorite way that corn is prepared is grilled with some like Old Bay seasoning and stuff thrown on it. Ah, that is so good. Like seasoned just a little spicy and grilled. Yeah, corn is so good. I rarely get it on the cob, but it do be delicious. I just often don't have the patience to go bird mode away on a cob. You like purple cabbage? Yeah, purple cabbage is also good, Augustine. I miss canned corn. It made my life so easy, but I'm not allowed to eat it anymore because my aunt won't allow it in the house. Why is that? Purple onions, yes. Onions are delicious. Coleslaw, my beloved. Coleslaw is fantastic. Perfecto. God, you guys are making me hungry. My stomach is actually growling pretty loud. I don't know if anybody heard that. I hope not. My aunt's parents are sweet corn farmers, and she detests the canned stuff on principle. Ah. It's called purple cabbage in English. I actually never knew. It's funny, in Danish it's called red cabbage. I've mostly heard it referred to as red cabbage as well, Dark, but I've also heard it referred to as purple cabbage, so I've heard it both ways. Steal everyone's internet. I don't know how much good that might do you if you steal my internet. My stomach is growling too. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't have a good purple onion dish right now because my local ramen place left corn in my ramen. We went to take it back. They took 15 minutes to give a new one, found out they tried and failed to just pick all the corn out. It was on the receipt that we said no corn. I'm sorry about that struggle, Alandria. I just like purple, fair enough. God, there was something else I was going to, say. Oh yeah, olives. Olives are delicious. Go eat Juan's cabbage, Adrian. It's good for you. Blasphemy. I will personally nom all the corn for you. Yes, I'll take some of that too. I actually don't think corn in ramen is that bad. I actually think it's pretty good. Purple potatoes. Okay. Now that's a discussion I think I'm gonna have to sit out. Although I did have, believe it or not, the other day I did have this, I forgot what they're called, but there was a potato dish that I did have the other day, and it was really, really good. Potatoes mentioned. How about raw tomato and cabbage? I love tomatoes, so I would be up for it. It's hot over there, right? Coleslaw must be so refreshing. Yes, coleslaw is super refreshing in the summer. Yeah, it really is. Adrian liking potatoes. This shouldn't be shocking. Sometimes, like I said, very, very specific ways that it's prepared, I'm okay with. French fries, potato salad, just to name two. It's rare, but there are some ways that potato is prepared that I do enjoy. I add corn in ramen often when I make it homemade, but to be fair, I use it in most dishes and salads. It's okay, Adrian. I claim your share of the forbidden starch in advance. Thank you, Augustine. You're a hero. I would be more than okay with that. Dark takes all the corn and we take all the starch from Adrian. God, you know, I think I've mentioned this before, but I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are so good on a burger. For those of you that have never had it, I highly recommend it. Need to clip that and use it as evidence against the evil accusations. Yes, I remember you saying you're not a fan of mushrooms, Augustine. So I guess we found our impasse. So I'll take the mushrooms off your hands and you can take the potatoes. Hey, welcome in, Shuri. How are you doing this evening? We were just talking about food and I was becoming aggressively more hungry. I would like to live in a mushroom. Okay, now Adrian is speaking my language. Sauteed mushrooms on a burger slaps so fucking hard. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Dandy. Listen to Dandy. He knows what he's talking about. Go grab something, Adrian. Food is important. You cannot die. I would, but I don't ever want to eat on stream. I would never want to do that to people with misophonia, and it would just be awkward, in my opinion, to just sit here and eat in the mic. So I will suffer through my hunger. Haven't actually eaten much today. Been living on snacks. You said the key word there, Dark. Get something to eat, Dark. I like them when they don't have the texture or the flavor. I do appreciate them from time to time, I swear. Don't worry, I'm not upset about that, Augustine, because that kind of sounds like how I am with potatoes. Sometimes I can understand why people love potatoes so much, and most times I just don't. So, you know. Dark, go get food, be right back. Good. Take your time. Stream title makes me wish we had a Cursed Ones musical. If I could sing, I feel like it would be funny to try to write a musical. My garlic soy sauce mushrooms convinced a mushroom hater to convert. That makes me want to try that. I'm good. Taking a day and the rest of the week off of work. Hell yeah, Churi. That is great to hear. Well deserved, I'm sure. I hope you get to kick back and relax as much as you can with your time off of work. You ever had peanut butter on a burger? I want to try, but never have. I don't think I have, but I honestly do think that would be delicious. I can see how it would work. And I have a church solo coming up. Do you? Do you sing, Churi? Like, were you in, like, choir and stuff like that? I'm just gonna sneak away and get some food before I'm in trouble, too. Yeah, you better. You better, Augustine. You guys and you're not eating sometimes, I know. I know, right? I got leftover white cabbage dish I made. Let's go. Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. Glad it turned out good. And that does sound delicious, Dark. Hold on, Effecto, let me see what you wrote. How about a smoothie or yogurt though? Both of those are delicious. I do like both smoothies and yogurt. Or really sugary coffee with cream? Yes, I do like cream and sugar in my coffee. Yes, I sing bass and choir and baritone and / tenor for solos. That is awesome. Because bass solos don't exist yet. That is really, really cool, Churi. So you can actually sing. So you guys know who to bug about singing. Not me, Churi. It's funny, peanut butter didn't really used to be much of a thing here. I've yet to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to date. They are good. Peanut butter is really good, and it can be used on quite a variety of things. It is really good. Yes, I had, at one point I made burgers, and I put, what is it, like the Chinese chili sauce on it. God, so good. I recommend that too. I do recommend that. It's very, very good. Actually goes well with it. Interesting combination? Yeah. It's fantastic, trust me. Teach me your ways, yeah, right? Please. I would actually really love to know how to sing. Okay, sorry, I was checking OBS again. I'm really paranoid. It's lagging something fierce for some reason today. But seems to be running. Why am I like this? I thought my rice must have been ready, but I forgot to turn it on. Oh no, Effecto. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. You got this. As they say in The Music Man, it's just like talking with longer and louder vowels. Well, I would definitely like to learn how to sing properly. That would definitely be nice. Also, have too much confidence and don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. That is probably good advice as well. Maudie keeps trying to get me to sing a duet with her. And I don't want to murder anyone's ears. Is it okay if you tell yourself that you can't do something? Not here. Not in this chat. The answer to that is no, Dark. Exactly. See, Churi knows. No, not allowed. I feel you, Adrian. Whenever I sing, I change both the rhythm and the lyrics. I feel like I should know how to sing, considering I do play the guitar, but, not that those are the same thing, but you would think that some of that, some of those skills would be, transferable, and they are, but just not for me. That is something I do wish I knew how to do. Because it would be fun to do things like karaoke and stuff. I actually love watching VTubers do karaoke. I think it's really, really fun. But, alas. Just got some soup as my first food of the day. First food of the day? I feel like a starved Victorian child having his first meal of the month. This is so good. Well, Augustine, I am glad that you got something to eat. Because, that would, there was about to be, I see I don't need to get all up close and personal with the camera. You took care of it yourself. Just, don't let it happen again. What if it's factually accurate, like I can't fly? If something is not physiologically, possible, then I will let it slide, Dandy. This is why I saved my confession for after the problem was solved. Wise choice. Experiment. Record your poem and put it to a funky beat. I mean, you know, the thing is, I don't know, I always have a hard time with, like, envisioning how things like that would sound, you know? Paragliding. Jeez, has it really been an hour and 42 minutes already? Alright, well, I guess we should do that tarot reading. So we can eventually get to the game. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let me change our music. That's not flying, it's falling with style. Wow, that track was going for an hour. We really were talking for a while. I'm betting on no swords today. Is Adrian's chat a safe place? Yes, as long as you've had food within the last 4 hours. Listen, Augustine, it's just tough love. We're just making sure no one is starving out here. Alright. it is time for our pre-game tarot reading. Let us see what the cards have in store for us this evening. It's the year 2040. Adrian yaps for 3 hours, 55 minutes, and 5 minutes of gameplay. You know, that may happen one day. And you will only have yourselves to blame because you guys are really entertaining to talk to. That is the only reason why I can talk for so long. But yes, let's see what the cards have for us this evening. Okay, so we have today the Tower reversed. The Tower is not a card that I like to pull for any reason at all. It is not always a bad thing, especially in specific contexts, right? Like, for example, sometimes if you're doing a reading in which you want to know how somebody feels about you, or about somebody else, pulling the Tower can actually be a really positive thing, as it could mean that they feel that meeting you was a part of, like, basically it was so significant. It was a Tower moment in their life, like completely collapsed something that they thought they knew, and they could view you in such a positive light that, you know, it puts their other relationships in question, just for example, right? So it can have some positive connotations, but more often than not, you don't want to pull the Tower card. Because the Tower card usually means that something in your life has either collapsed or is about to collapse. And the underlying positive side of it is that whatever will take its place will be good for you, and whatever collapsed was never going to be permanent in the first place and was not any good for you at all. However, seeing as how we have pulled this card in the reverse position, that is where things get interesting. Pulling the Tower in reverse can imply some things that are positive and others that are still not so good. On the positive side, the Tower in reverse can imply that you are changing and you're taking this initiative within yourself, right? You're not necessarily waiting for a tower to collapse. You have made the choice to change all by yourself. And this process is still going to be probably quite rocky. But you are you're prepared to take this journey. Rather than wait for something to collapse, you have recognized that you need to make a change. And these changes are likely to be very significant. Because it is still the Tower, even though it is in the reverse position, these changes that you are making are likely to be quite impactful. Things along the lines of maybe something like moving across the country, or leaving a job you've had for a very long time, or you know, exiting a relationship that you've been a part of for a long time, or even changing religions, or deciding to no longer follow religion at all. Massive changes, basically, but the difference here is that you are the one initiating this. This is something that you feel you need to do, and you are doing it by yourself, not waiting for some sort of horrible moment to occur that destroys everything that you believe in or hold close. Right? So there's a certain power in that, even if it's going to be something that might be still somewhat of a treacherous road. You are the one spearheading this process. Right? So there is a power in that, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Just definitely an impactful and significant one. which can still be a bit unsettling, but not compared to the upright tower. So that is a good thing. On the other hand, the tower in reverse can indicate, much like the upright tower, that something is about to come down. And unlike the upright tower, which can be an abrupt and surprising change, the tower in reverse can indicate that you actually see this coming. You know something bad is about to happen, and you are either prepared for it, or you're in the process of preparing for it, or you are trying everything that you can to resist this tower from collapsing, which is not usually going to work out quite well for you. Because what the tower often represents, as I mentioned before, is something that needs to come down, even if it really, really doesn't feel like it. Right? Like, you may not feel like, say you've been in a relationship for 5 years, and the tower collapsing could mean that person leaving you, right? Just to use an example. Kind of hard to sit here and say, oh, well, it's in your best interest. Guess what? Fast forward a year, and it may well be. You might meet the person of your dreams after a year following the collapse of that relationship that you thought was the one that meant everything to you. But in the moment, who's going to feel like that, right? And when the tower is in the upright position, that relationship might crumble before you even realize it's about to. When it's reversed like this, using the same scenario, you can see the writing on the wall, and you're trying everything you can to stop that from happening. And this card is a omen to you that you need to stop standing in the way of this tower collapsing, because it needs to. And you are only prolonging your suffering for something that is almost guaranteed to be an inevitability. So you are heavily advised to not continue to fight against what is trying to happen. As much as I hate to say that, that is what you are being asked to do. On the other hand, and again, on the more positive and on the somewhat more positive side of this, you can take agency in this. If you feel like you have been resisting this, or you feel like, when I said, hey, something kind of feels inevitable, like something bad is going to happen, and that might have rang alarm bells for you, and you might know what it is for you personally, this gives you an opportunity to get ahead of the game and try to do whatever you can to mitigate this disaster, to make sure that it has the least destructive force when it does happen. So you aren't impacted in the worst possible way. And again, this can be things that you already have some kind of feelings about, relationships with people, or a job that's not working out, things of that nature. It's better to just be honest about it and do what you can to try and prevent it from getting worse than it is to try to fight against it and end up worse for wear. But yes, that is our pre-game tarot card reading. I know it's not the most happy. Again, I really don't like pulling this card. But tarot is never really meant to be something that, you know, makes you scared or apprehensive or feel bad about your life or anything like that. It is there to help you, and the messages that you receive, even if they're not the happiest, are meant to serve you in a way that can help you avoid the worst case scenario and things. They give you these heads up even if they're not what you want to hear, kind of out of a bit of tough love, right? It's better to know about these things than it is to be completely taken off guard. So if that resonates with you in a way that is less than pleasant, meaning you feel like you might know what that could be referring to in your own life, it could be positive to sit down with yourself and be honest about its current condition and ask yourself how you're going to navigate it. On the other hand, I do hope that the other interpretation is more likely for all of you, that being that you are transforming your life in a way that might be complex, but ultimately worth it. One that you're initiating rather than it being, you know, or feeling like it's being done to you. That can manifest in the form of an existential crisis, but let's just hope that that's not what's, that's not the case for anybody here. Can I get a refund for this card? May I put it on hold? That is how I feel sometimes. On the other hand, this is a streams card. Yes, and I'm delaying the inevitable. I am delaying my duties. I have many monsters to face. Me, please not swords today. Terror, here, have inevitable chaos instead. You know what they say, Effecto. Be careful what you ask for. Although I wouldn't necessarily take this to be a guaranteed negative thing. If anything, I'm glad I pulled it in the reverse position. I feel like I can see the good in it. Like, if you feel you're stuck in something, I feel that sounds like you can use it as a breakthrough to get past that and start something that feels more you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's still a card that makes me kind of unsettled. But, especially in this position, it can have many positive connotations. Like you said, taking charge of something when you see that something needs changing. Rather than the tower collapsing, you are pulling aspects of it down to build it up to be more sturdy. And that is definitely, I feel, undeniably better than having something just collapse on top of you. Without your expectation or desire for it. I have a question. Do you have a tarot deck with you? Yes, I do. Yes, I usually pull from my... I have a few decks that I keep by me. I take from whichever one I feel is calling to me more. But yes, I do have a few decks by me right now, Effecto. I'm sure this card has nothing to do with my existential crisis. Well, Augustine, you wouldn't be the only one. I think a lot of people are feeling a similar kind of way lately with how things have been. But do know that you have support and people, of course, who really, really care about you. You are definitely not alone. Both in terms of experiencing it, and also in terms of support. Crises. Right, my mistake. My journey for rice cabbage has felt like the tower, not gonna lie. Rice cooker failed me. I'm switching to the stove. Oh my god. So wait, the rice cooker is malfunctioning now too, Effecto? Because, I can understand why you would feel that way. If that happened on top of everything else. Good lord, Effecto, we need to get you some new kitchen supplies, yes. It's like the universe doesn't want me to eat. But why did you ask about the decks, Effecto? Were you just curious, or did you actually have like a specific question that you wanted to ask? If so, just let me know before I start the game. Also, thank you to all of you who have been patient as we've sat here for 2 hours just talking. I think this might be one of the most aimless yap sessions we've ever had, but we still have we did have some good conversations. I was curious. I know witches have the tendency to have a lot of decks. Yes, I do want to get more. I do have several though. They do have a favorite one. Yes, this is true. I do have a favorite one right now. I was curious which ones you have. I know very little of them. I have one that follows the Rider White deck. The other one is like more like original illustrations. They don't really follow any of the most common depictions. Then I have another one. I forget what the art for that is called, but it's also another common style for tarot decks. My first deck often bullied me whenever I asked. The thing is, when you feel that way, a lot of times, so they say, you feel that way because you're asking a lot of the same kind of question too frequently. Or you're asking the wrong kind of question. The way I wish I could make an Adrian-themed tarot deck, that would be so cool. I wish I could do that, and like, I would like to like sell that as merch. Not in like a greedy way or whatever, but like I just feel like that would be really, really cool as like a collector's item. That would be really cool. I'd like to see a Mari deck too. That would be really cool. Do you have a deck to play poker with? Think of the confusion. Actually, I do have playing cards as well. Some people actually do tarot with playing cards, and I think that's pretty cool. That is, I actually think that's really cool when people can do that. I knew someone who could do that. Even my tarot deck got tired of me? That's not true, Effecto. No, because the thing with that is, when it comes to tarot, depending on who you ask, the messages that you receive are coming from forces that only seek to do you well. Whether you believe that's the stars, or guardian angels, or people in your life that have departed, or a higher being, it all depends on what you personally believe, right? But the idea is that tarot is supposed to help provide you with some guidance and answers to things, but it's not meant to give you a direct view into the future, and it's not going to tell you what you want to hear no matter how many times you ask it. So if you keep spamming the question of, hey, am I going to be rich? You might get a genuine answer out of that, even though that's not really the way you're supposed to kind of ask questions when seeking guidance from tarot. But if you keep spamming questions like that, or variations of it, it is not uncommon to hear that you will get quite a snarky response. And that can manifest in different ways, like, again, if you keep saying, am I gonna be rich? You might get a positive card, like, yes, you will be, only to go to the doctor that day and find out that you are rich in cholesterol. but not in cash. That would legit be such a cool merch item for you. I know, right? Yeah, it would be. Like I said, I'd love to see one for Maudie too. I feel like that would be really, really cool. That's something I'd love to have commissioned at some point, but I can only imagine the cost. It would probably be astronomical, to be honest. If I was a tarot deck, I would give an answer like that. But yes, we've been chatting for 2 hours and 4 minutes now, so it is probably time for us to get to the game. So I will make my blue sky post and switch us over. I've gotten a lot better at remembering to do this. Alright, we'll just sit on the menu for a minute while I make that post. There we go. All right. Hi, Nitro. Welcome in. How are you tonight? You are just in time. We've been yapping for like 2 hours. I'm only just now getting to the actual game part of the stream. I better take my leave to avoid spoilers. It's 2 a.m. and was up early, falling asleep at the desk. Have a wonderful stream. Love you all and take care. Thank you so much for dropping by, Dark. I really, really appreciate it. And yes, please don't spoil yourself. Trust me, this game is very much worth experiencing blind. I think you're gonna love it. The deeper I've gotten into this game, the more I'm convinced you're gonna really like it. So please do spare yourself any spoilers. But yes, sleep well. It was fun. I'm excited to hear that. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely get some rest, okay? Sleep well, and I'm not sure if I'm going to stream again tomorrow. We'll see about that, but either way, hope to see you again soon. And thank you for your stream earlier, by the way. That was a lot of fun. Yapping about what? All kinds of things. We talked about food, computers, the general state of everything in the world, traffic. We talked about a lot of stuff. I miss the tech and snack talks. It wasn't a whole lot of tech talks. I was actually just mentioning that I bought my my CPU. And it finally arrived. So I now have that as I slowly aim to put together my desktop. I don't have all the parts yet, but that's what I'm fundraising for. And Augustine was so generous and kind to make a small contribution to my my fund for the motherboard, which is what I'm trying to raise money for right now. So that got us talking about the CPU and then the general state of trying to stream with very limited amounts of RAM and power. Okay, if I recall, I had just gotten the machine pistol attachment. And we did not listen to this yet. So let's go ahead and see what's on the tape.
seem to have adapted to the conditions here, which gives them a strategic advantage. The underground has become a safe place for them to multiply unhindered. If I do not stop their accumulation, they will pose a terminal threat to my successes. Destroying the nest is now a priority. My target will have to wait for those who awaken after me. Such is our calling.
You know, I was thinking about that they do seem like they have adapted to the specific conditions of this area here. Such is our calling, yes. Welcome in. It's good to see you again. Yeah, as you can see, I'm playing more. I'm looking for that, zero gravity or the anti-gravity module. As I continue to press on into the dark. The Rise. 21/12, 1981. Tonight is the night. It's time to pull the bars out of the fucking walls. I have nothing left to lose anyway. None of us has. That's why they should be afraid of us. And they will be. You can shoot us all you want. The new dawn stands tall. I have a feeling things are about to get, very dicey beyond this point. Did I mention I think things are about to get dicey? But, you know, such is our calling. Nice. Hopefully prices come down soon in general. I want to upgrade some stuff myself. Yeah. It would be really nice. We need that AI bubble to burst so that we can actually afford tech again. This looks disgusting. That just looks really gross. I'm trying to finish my 4th run on hard, such as my calling. I feel like this game would be really, really difficult on hard. Some of these sections you really have to be perfect with as far as your ammo conservation. So I commend you for working towards completing this on hard. Something is definitely... I think we're getting a new enemy here. I just have a feeling that's, this place has that kind of vibe, you know? You ever want some cabbage to cook, but you haven't started it, so you have to cube it in half? I assume you mean cut it in half. And now we're trapped in an infinite loop of cutting and slicing cabbage to freeze it so it doesn't go bad. Just me? I don't think I've experienced that. But I'm sure you're not the only one. I know all spots to run and save ammo, and you must fight. And it's New Game Plus. I have 100 pump bullets, and for the pistol I have 93. Wow. Yeah, you're set. Remember what I said about feeling like we were gonna face a new enemy? Not sure I'm a fan of these guys being able to crawl on the ceilings, but I don't really think that they're concerned with my feelings about them. I don't wish the cabbage loop even to my worst enemy. This feels very Dante's Inferno, not gonna lie. I can see what you mean in terms of, like, that, in terms of that cycle of, spiraling ever downward into hell. God, the art design in this game is just something to behold. Seriously, can we take a second to look at this? Look at that, chat. That is just a beautiful, the amount of work that must have went into designing these environments. I have immense respect for Bloober Team's work here. I was talking about the game. Oh, the one by the Dead Space team back in the day. It's still crazy to think that that game even happened, Effecto. They were actually really trying to make that game a success. They had a Super Bowl commercial for it and everything here in the US. Okay, so if I need space for more chemicals, then I might as well, let's make more ammo. Where did you go? I am not a fan of that. Where did it go? Okay, now there's two of them. Alright, if that's what you want to do... Come here. Okay, that got one. Alright, out of ammo. I was gonna say at least we took them down, but here comes another. So at least these guys are not very durable. Holy shit, they just keep spawning. I need health right now. Alright. Sorry, hold on, Effecto. I'll read that. I'll read that right now. I have to go now. I need to move furniture that's getting wet under the rain. Have fun, everybody, and please eat something, Adrian. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for dropping by, Effecto. Yes, please, please make sure that you don't, let that furniture get soaked and stuff like that. And please make sure that you stay dry yourself. I really appreciate you dropping in. It gave me endless nightmares, maybe because I played that game when I was too young to rationalize it. Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, thank you so much for dropping by, Effecto. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your evening. Man, it feels like yesterday when I saw that video about Dead Space on MTV. Here in Germany, we get a show that is called Game 1, and they show the game for the first time back then. That's crazy, because I think over here, they did a special, but it wasn't on MTV here, it was on the Sci-Fi channel, I think, which makes sense given the genre of Dead Space. That showed a lot of stuff for the game back then as well. So I just find that very interesting that it sounds like you had a similar experience. Seeing the game for the first time. But which is your favorite Dead Space game? Wait, what do I do here? I guess we go up this way, right? Here we are, found it. Gravity boots. Mass manipulating equipment that allows the user to harness the power of the anomaly in order to traverse against gravity. This is what we've been looking for.
Acquired the gravity boots. Heading back to the rift.
Step on a gravity platform to activate the gravity boots. Hold ZL to aim at another platform and A to execute a jump. So this is exactly like Dead Space. Very cool. Yeah, this is just like Dead Space now. Dead Space 1 is the greatest, 2 is okay but too much, and 3 is trash. It's okay, co-op, but that's it. I never got to play Dead Space 3. I was not a fan of them adding in so much action to it. Dead Space 2 is a game that has a lot of action, but Dead Space 2 felt to me a lot like Resident Evil 2 in a way. Like, they're very different games. But from its philosophy on how it adds the action. I actually didn't think Dead Space 2 was bad. I actually think Dead Space 2 might be my favorite. I really love the first Dead Space. But I think what I like about Dead Space 2 was how much we got to see Isaac grow as a character. That's why I was actually interested in the remake of Dead Space, because even though I feel like Dead Space didn't need a remake, I feel like a remaster would have been fine. Revisiting the first game with Isaac being able to speak and whatnot, I felt would kind of combine the two things that I felt the games did well, which was Dead Space 1 just being a great game in general, and getting to see more of his personality. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, I think I understand how these work now. But can you elbow slam entities now? I don't think so. I wish I could. Well, Andrea, I would be in a much better position right now. Funny part is, though, that my character does come off as someone who would be able to do that. I can tell you missed nothing with Dead Space 3. I'm fine with the remake. I couldn't bear the controls on the old one. Really? That's interesting. I felt like Dead Space had some pretty good controls, but it has been a while since I played it. I don't know if it didn't hold up. The final straw. The workers think that it was us who started it. They think we killed Gabriel Baraika, but the madness began after the uprising. It was us who were the keepers of the peace in the shithole of insanity. But no matter who started it, this has to end. At 0800, we seize the cafeteria, break their last stand. We'll drag them out by their ugly mugs. Senior Officer Bernard T. Estaba. Well, given how it seems they were treated, I do not blame them at all. Of course, the question remains, how did all of this start? And then who was actually responsible? That is what I'm curious to find out. Right, down we go. Oh, let's put us right back in the safe room. Thankfully, at least I did have one more health item. I may need to go ahead and buy some stuff because we have nothing right now. I feel like the shotgun could do with more firepower. The machine pistol seemed like all it did was tickle them. So I'm thinking maybe I should upgrade that too, but I don't... I also need money to get more ammunition. Can I give you a tip for guns? Yeah, absolutely. While you type that, I'm just gonna look around real quick. Did I miss anything in here? No, unfortunately, it seems I picked the place clean. You should just remove the helmet and bite them to death. I mean, listen, the Traveler seems like, she seems like a real badass, so I wouldn't doubt that we could do that. But I also find the thought of, putting my mouth on these things repulsive. You can reset them as the first tip and put the first gun away. The sword, take the dagger for it and keep the hammer at all times. Reset them? You mean like reset your placement of what you've invested in them? I see. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Let me drop a save and try that. Actually did not realize that. I saw the reset button, but I thought that was like a quick undo if you accidentally invested into something you didn't want. You will remove all upgrades from this weapon and receive the energy you used to unlock them. And receive the energy, Thank you, Valko. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. And if you put the sword away, take the dagger for it. A dagger doesn't need to chug and take more damage, but tap it if you shoot. Oh, I see what you mean. So basically you can use a machine pistol as a pistol if you just kind of, if you just tap it instead of holding the trigger. Hey, when a viewer gives you bits, does that translate as money for you? Because I know about the sub revenue, but I'm not sure if bits do. Yeah, bits is money. I'm alright, a little tired. I am right there with you, Valko. I am also kind of tired. It has been a long day. Quite a few people have actually come through here saying that they were pretty tired. I enjoyed your stream yesterday. Valko was playing Resident Evil 2 Remake. You only need the hammer and the dagger. That's it. Best guns in the game. Well, I'm gonna try your suggestion here. I'm gonna revoke my upgrades here. Oh no, not agile. Wow. Okay, well we got all that money back. So first things first, let's upgrade the firepower for the shotgun. Thank you for the hydrate, Dandy. Yeah, definitely appreciate that. Actually been really thirsty since last night. Alright, let's do a firepower upgrade. Thank you for the stretch, Sally. Actually, you know what? I should get up and do that real quick. No worries, I'm gonna get up and stretch real quick. I realize I have not done that for 2 hours and 31 minutes. Be right back. Welcome back, Falco. I'm just about to stretch real quick, but I was saying I enjoyed your Resident Evil 2 stream last night. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Clip size and stability is good. Firepower, but a little bit more to clip size. Yeah, I feel like clip size makes a lot more sense for a machine pistol. Because it really doesn't help if it runs out way too fast, so I do agree with you. I will upgrade that. And what else did you say? Stability, right? Yeah, because that'll start bouncing around real fast. The recoil. Okay, 1 second. I will be right back. Just gonna stretch. Alright, I am back. Bruh, a machine pistol that doesn't even come with a double stack mag is insane. Yeah, this thing only had, before upgrades, this thing could only hold a capacity of 8 bullets. If you can believe that, Valko. I tried to use it before, without the upgrades, and it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. On the hammer, do full damage and clip size first. Yeah, I've maxed out the firepower on the shotgun right now. This thing is my best weapon at the moment, so that's fine. Let's see, do I want to do extra firepower on this, or... Alright, let's go with clip size on the shotgun. Alright, you know what? Hopefully... I don't have any machine pistol ammo, so I have to keep this for now, except I already drained the stats from it. Let me use my cores too. Dagger uses pistol ammo, so I'll get some of that too then. There we go, it's not much, but better than nothing, I suppose. I hope I'm gonna pronounce this correctly, Valko. I'll do my best. The Schnellführer, full auto C96, at least was reworked to accept 20 RD mags. Not that it mattered much, with a cyclic rate of 1,200 RPM. I probably massacred that pronunciation. 20 round, got it. Yeah, honestly, I wish this thing at least could hold 20 round mags. I've got it up to 10 now, which does not feel like it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be enough for these things, but hopefully the power increase upgrade will make up for the low mag size. 2 more tips. Read your essence. And keep the bolt cutters on you at all times. Only take the dagger and hammer with you. You don't need more. Alright, hold on. Let me, see what I want to upgrade here. Suit integrity, inventory slots, resources limit. Let's up the resources limit. Alright. Hold on. Yeah, these right here, right? Energy found increased slightly. Deal more damage against burning enemies. Can you see it? Yeah, these are the effects, right? That, I have from the people that, whose essences I've collected. Yeah. A lot don't see that. Thankfully, I did notice it when I got it the first time, the first guy, Edward. But I'm still looking for more. Let me actually move my... There we go. I prefer for that to be up on the D-pad. Machine pistols are a funny class of weapon. They pop up to answer very specific problems, but they never end up doing very well and ultimately get replaced fairly quickly. Yeah, honestly, I can kind of see why that would be the case. It's interesting because that seems to be the, seems to be what happens in video games with them as well. Or at least that is my, experience with them. Over here. I try to play it on the Switch too, but I misclick and heal myself all the time. That has happened to me a few times already, actually. And I get mad at myself every time. It's because I keep thinking about Resident Evil and how you press the X button to access your inventory. So I keep trying to do that and I end up healing. I'm too Resident Evil brained. How do I... Where do we go from here? Like the VZ61 Scorpion? The Scorpion, I remember using that in, the Call of Duty game for like a very little time and just not having a good time with that weapon. I forget which one it was. What do you think about the Resident Evil 2 remake? I love it. I think it's a fantastic game. My only gripe with the Resident Evil 2 remake is that they unnecessarily kind of butchered the story, because in the original, there's things that the storyline makes clear that the remake makes confusing for no reason. Like, for example, Marvin talking about the mansion incident from the first game. In the original game, he makes it clear, kind of like a quick recap on what happened and explaining, for people who may not have played the first game, how things ended up the way they did. And in the remake, he just basically says nobody knows what happened, which is not true. Oh, there's a cat. So my gripe with the RE2 remake is bad decisions with the writing, as well as enemies that were cut from the game. But I still think it's fantastic and I love it. Only slightly below how much I love the original RE2, so big fan of the remake. An officer's confession. On the night of December 21st, a stabilization unit equipped with non-lethal weapons with rubber cartridges confronted a riot of quarantine workers. The aggressive crowd wanted to be released and demanded justice for Gabriel Baraica, whom they had recognized as their leader. Attempts to pacify the riot failed. Forced to prevent escalation, I gave the order to fire. Despite the aforementioned use of non-lethal ammunition, one of the workers was fatally wounded. Who could have seen that coming? Regrettably, this event triggered an escalation of the conflict, contrary to our intentions. You were shooting at them. What did you think was going to happen? I accept full responsibility for any oversights or misjudgments during the operation. Senior Officer Christoph Marzak. It's cool as hell. Small enough for armored vehicle crew, but if things go sideways, you really want something more substantial than a .32 ACP going downrange. I could see how that would be the case. Because my experience with it in Call of Duty, which I know is... I know we're comparing two different things here, but I found that it had a nice punch to it, but I would always run out of ammo in a magazine way too fast for it to be viable. So I just could not, couldn't justify keeping it around, you know? Adrian, user witch powers to make animation not be difficult. I wish, because if I could do that, I would be animating some things myself. Believe me, I would indeed be doing that. What I dislike the most on the remake is they fucked up scenario A and B. The runs are always the same. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, I am not a fan of how they handled that. at all. And nice to know that they can get up on these platforms. Probably should have seen that coming. Not even zero gravity. Keep me safe, it would seem. But yeah, I agree. And the sad part is, it's so hard to explain this to people who are only playing the game for the first time. And unfortunately, what has happened with discourse regarding remakes of video games is anytime you try to point out when something was done better in the original, and I understand some people are assholes about it. Speaking for myself, I don't think that I am, and I try not to be with this kind of stuff, but when you do try to point out things that were not done well in the remakes compared to the originals, a lot of people will just kind of dig their heels in and accuse you of being old and biased towards what you grew up with, which is very patronizing and annoying, but what can you do? It's frustrating because they'll do that even if you're complimentary of things in the remakes and stuff like that, because I know I tend to be very complimentary of a lot of things in the remakes. Again, I am... The only remake that I'm not a fan of is the Resident Evil 3 remake, because they completely butchered the game, even though I still think it's a good game on its own. It's just a very bad remake of RE3. But yeah, they will still accuse you of basically just being old and crotchety, which is very obnoxious, but... Exactly, Sally. The shitty thing, you could only have the 10-round mag loaded if you wanted to keep it in a holster. Yeah, that is really shitty. Yeah, that sucks. Wow. I'm just imagining you get ambushed or something, and, you burn right through that. That would definitely not be a fun situation to be in. Yeah, and even Hunk and Tofu that you get as DLC, man, that sucks. I know in the old days you must finish the game 6 times for Hunk, or finish the game in under 1 hour and 30 minutes. No save, no heals, and you get a lot of guns with infinite ammo. If I'm not mistaken, I think Hunk and Tofu are actually in the RE2 remake without DLC. I think the only thing you have to download is the Ghost Survivors, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but we are old and crotchety. The old RE3 is way better, and I must say RE1 is better as well, because in the remake they add so much stuff I dislike. RE1 is going to be interesting because the word from people who claim to be in the know is that they are remaking it again, and I am interested to see what they do.
I reached the factory in Sector B1 and located the time rift. It is beyond my reach. I need to equip myself adequately before I can continue. There is an outpost set up nearby by those who came here before me. It is located in the main control room. I might be able to find a solution there. Some things that will allow me to reach the dive point and proceed with the extraction. Such is our calling.
I guess at least they at least do remakes instead of re-releasing Skyrim for the 674th time. Yeah, one thing I can say is, I mean, Capcom has gotten it more right than they've gotten it wrong, is what I'll say. I do have nagging issues with the remakes, but like I said, outside of RE3, I've enjoyed all of them, and even RE3 Remake, it's a fun game. It's probably one of the best case examples of, wanting so much more and not getting it. Like being given a plate with too little. You know what I mean? RE3 Remake could have been fine. They just made a lot of baffling decisions with it, including cutting out pretty much everything. But definitely I would say even with that issue, Capcom / Resident Evil fans have it way better than Bethesda fans with how Bethesda has handled everything regarding both Fallout and The Elder Scrolls. I cannot deny that. Especially because I heard the remake of Oblivion that they did is also pretty much just as buggy, if not worse, than the original game, which is already incredibly buggy. So, that's not fun. Another remake of Resident Evil? It's only been like 20 plus years since they remade it. It's like, just make something new, Capcom. You know, the weird thing about that is, like, the sad part is we will never, like, the remake of the first game was so special because Shinji Mikami also directed it, and a lot of the original staff who worked on the PS1 version of the first Resident Evil remade it and got to add all the things they wanted to do that they couldn't do because of tech limitations with the first game. You know, because it was on PS1. So that's like a perfect remake, right? I'm interested to see what they could do with a remake of the first game again. I don't really feel like it needs it, but sadly, one reason that will automatically justify another remake existing is that people will always complain about tank controls, no matter how much I don't really understand the confusion around them. People will continue to hate them and either not really even try, or the thing that I really hate the most, is that in the remasters, the HD remasters of the Resident Evil 1 remake, they default the controls to the awful analog controls, which actually do not work well at all. They break the camera. So you know how everybody always complains about how when they tried to play fixed camera angle games, the camera would jump around and stuff? That's not actually true. People are just being confused by the angles changing, but you're always facing straight. That's the whole purpose of the tank controls. It's like an RC car. Not saying I don't understand why it would be awkward to get used to, but I always say if you just spend like 10 minutes running around in the intro zone, you'll learn how to use them without too much problems, right? But the analog controls and the HD remasters will confuse you. They actually do the thing that people think the tank controls do, which is make the camera go insane. Which is especially a problem if you're running from something really fast, like dogs or crimson heads or something like that. It will actually fuck you up. But if you try to tell people to use the tank controls, or to at least try them, a lot of times they won't be interested in that, so. Which again, to each their own. I'm not coming down on anybody, it's just disappointing because that's how the games were meant to be played, right? It's like if I took this game right here that was meant to be played with analog controls and we turned them into a tank-controlled game. It would make this game incredibly awkward to play, you know what I mean? Because it was not built for that. It actually sounds like more of a director's cut. Yeah, in a way, I mean, you could look at the remake of RE1 like that. Because, for example, Lisa Trevor and such was originally like a concept that they did come up with for the first game, but a lot of stuff was left on the cutting room floor for the first Resident Evil game. Because of the, one, the first game was actually made on quite a small budget, and two, you know, the PlayStation was still new hardware, so they didn't really know how to use it. So the GameCube remake of RE1 is pretty much everything that they wanted to be in the original game, thrown in there. The interesting point of discussion regarding the remake, though, is that even with that fact, there's still some awkward things to it. Like, the fact that there's still no ending in the original game that actually shows all of these survivors getting out together. So canonically, it's still weird. And they actually did kind of remove some stuff and streamline things in the remake of 1. Not a lot. But for example, the way you handle Barry's fate in the remake of Resident Evil is actually significantly dumbed down compared to the PS1 version. And I do understand why people aren't fans of that. They reduce it to a yes or no choice instead of having multiple choices throughout the game that will decide Barry's fate. There's tiny little things like that to where I will at least say, even though I don't think a remake of RE1 is necessary, I can see where the argument can be made because I don't know how Capcom is going to handle it, but they might try to combine both aspects of the original game on PS1 and the remake together, and maybe finally close the little, what do you call it, plot contradiction with the endings. Thank you, Navajo Ghost. I actually do need some water. I was talking for way too long. These days, it's hard to make something new that is great and good. Today, they focus on the wrong things. Only a handful of games these days are great if you ignore the remakes. I feel like most of the best things that are coming out right now in gaming are from independent developers. Tank controls are great and easy to get used to. I agree. I've never really had too much of an issue with them, except for when I was like a really young kid. But again, I do understand why they can be an acquired taste. I'm definitely not oblivious to that, and I don't shame anybody who doesn't want to use them. I just get annoyed when people even they refuse to even try them just because they heard someone say the controls suck. Like, at least try it yourself before you come to that conclusion. If you do it and you still don't like it, fair enough. I've seen people do a really good job playing the remakes with the analog controls, so that's fine. I just don't like when people will resort to just saying that they suck because they heard they suck, not try them, and then basically again accuse you of being biased because, you know, you played this and you're old or something like that. It's just really annoying. And inaccurate. Can't say I ever had a problem picking up tank controls in a game, just never really liked it. See, that's fair enough. That doesn't bother me, you know, whatsoever. I can respect that. At least you try it, you know? Them or us? Attention all officers, we are in a state of outbreak. Protect the asset at all costs. Shoot the infected. It's either them or us. Senior Officer Sebastian Zeke. And with this, I think we're taking another trip back to the 80s.
Initiating the anchored frequency synchronization. Temporal destination reached. Proceeding with the search for the target, Arthur Batica.
Well, now we're, now we're gonna be looking for, Ichor's head. Because I think we're gonna, absorb his essence as well. Elden Ring, Black Myth Wukong, Cronos the New Dawn, Dead Space Remake, and Stellar Blade are some of the games I play, are really great in the last few years that I remember, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Of those, I have only played, so far, Cronos the New Dawn. I have not tried any of the others. I do want to play Stellar Blade. That is actually coming to the Switch too, so I do want to pick it up and play it. I am annoyed, though, that for the new one that they're making, apparently they're using AI, so probably will not be partaking in that game, but I would like to try out the first at least, because I do like character action games, like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, stuff like that. Hold on, Valko is an agile, so let me reply via text. I think unironically the best newer games I've played has been Disco Elysium. Project Wingman is up there, but Ace Combat style games are usually at least enjoyable. I forgot, and Dave the Diver is one of the greatest games. You can get it on Switch. By the way, try it out. I think you can get it for a good use price. It's really great, and Stellar Blade is crazy good. Yeah, I've heard good things about both games. I'm not really sure if Dave the Diver would be my kind of thing, but I'd be willing to try it out. Somebody else that I follow, a friend of mine, has played it on stream before, and it does look like a cute game. Behavioral analysis. The asset will only talk to one designated responder. It doesn't respond to any other visual or auditory stimuli. It is distrustful, but it does not betray signs of fear, nor does it appear aggressive. So far. That so far is doing a lot of heavy lifting. A lot of heavy lifting.
Taped interview 17. The subject struggles with speaking clearly. It seems to me his...
Doctor, you are not here to make conjecture about the subject's well-being.
You want to come down here and swap, Sergeant?
You're out of line, Doctor.
Please help me out here. Don't make it more difficult.
What do you expect of me?
You need to start answering questions.
Ask them.
What is this illness? How do we stop it?
You can't. What has already happened cannot be changed.
Why are you here then?
Your world is to end.
Yeah, I noticed. What is your part in it? What is your mission?
My vocation.
Yes. What's the point of it all? Are you to save people? Or to harm us?
Would like to learn that.
That is a traveler. Captured. Why did he let such a thing happen?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. That is one of us. That is one of us. So, you know, Sally, I do think you're right about this being one big time loop. That is kind of what I'm feeling. Dave the Diver is a really great game. I got it on PS5 and platinumed it. You can do a lot in the game, you can find secrets, and the story is really funny. So about Stellar Blade, the obvious comment is that it's obviously a fan service heavy game, but considering what I've seen from the company's gacha game Nikke, I can see that it's more than that and probably actually really good. Yeah. So I've seen people complain about that, and it really just depends on the context for me, when it comes to that kind of thing. Because if it's something that feels like it is... This is where they were keeping him. If it's something that feels uncomfortable in its depiction, then I'm not very interested. If it's something that's just kind of like whatever and you roll your eyes at it, then it normally doesn't bother me too much. So, I'd have to see more of it. But, I would be interested in trying it. Like I said, I'm just sad that, apparently they're using AI in the sequel, so... Not very interested in that, but at least the original game I feel would be fun for a, playthrough. If I ended up enjoying it, you know? I forgot that, that the people behind Stellar Blade were behind Nikke as well. I guess I can see the similarity when you mention it, yeah. Steal Switch and sell it at the black market for a high price. To be honest, Navajo Ghost, I don't think you would even need to take it to the black market to get a high price. With the way costs are right now, you could probably just sell it anywhere and get a good chunk of change for it. Such a shame that they're using AI for the sequel. I'd love to play a brawler. I know, right? Yeah. No, that really upsets me too. And like the thing is, like, and I guess I should say this because when it comes to me and like certain kinds of content in games, like I usually always say it a certain way, but most stuff doesn't really bother me personally, you know? I understand why it would bother most people or other people. My thing is really, like, it depends on how certain things are depicted and if the developers themselves are particularly problematic, and that's definitely things I don't want to support, you know what I mean? But usually, certain things don't bother me too much unless I feel like it's... You can normally kind of get a certain feel for when things are... Yeah, you know? Yep, shift up. They like attractive women, violence, and absolutely traumatic storytelling. That's crazy because I have heard people talking about Nikke, that it has a really good storyline. Which I would have never guessed looking at that game. So that is kind of surprising. Only a specific group has a problem with the game because of the women that look unrealistic, but in reality, it's her real body converted to 3D, and the story from the game and other stuff is really great. Nice to play, good fights, and is really beautiful to watch. Yeah, so I have a hard time, like, how do I phrase this? I always end up in a weird place trying to explain this to people because, unfortunately, in the modern day, nuance is kind of dead. So I always try to be really careful about how I phrase this. I think if you watch my channel for 2 seconds, you probably know where a lot of my beliefs lie, in terms of me being a very open-minded, very accepting, progressive individual, with no tolerance for, bigotry of any kind. And, I'm not going to tolerate that kind of bullshit. You know, the kinds of people who like to go around throwing out words like woke, DEI, whatever, can get fucked. Very, very annoying people, who have no care for the plight of different kinds of people, or to understand why some people might feel offended by things or bothered by things, and that is absolutely not the kind of person that I am in terms of holding any space for people who just want to be shitheads. You know what I mean? But at the same time, for me, when it comes to fictional media, I guess for me, as a fan of horror, I'm so used to being exposed to things that are really violent or having different kinds of content in it that it doesn't really bother me or put me off in any way. You know what I mean? Again, as long as it doesn't feel like it is being mean-spirited or perverted in a way that is extremely uncomfortable and or, you know, outwardly harmful. Mainly because I feel that if you don't like certain kinds of media, you don't have to consume it. And as long as you have the opportunity to, as long as games are appropriately rated, and the content within them is not found to be legitimately harmful, then it doesn't really bother me much. You know what I mean? So, I hope I did a decent job of explaining that, but it can just be very hard sometimes because I feel like it's one of those things where people will often get things mixed up, like thinking that just because you're playing a certain game that you think this, or yeah, it's frustrating. It is very, very frustrating. Under special surveillance, I do not need to remind you, Sergeant Zeke, that the protocol imposed by the Seraphim Project applies to all your subordinates. The Kremlin has agreed that she should be the one to talk to it, but she must ask only questions specified in the instructions. Otherwise, you need to end the charade. This is not the time for pseudo-philosophical chit-chat. This thing is dangerous. It's a ticking time bomb. It's a monster. The outcome of the Gemini project must not be allowed to repeat itself. Well, we have a name. There's something that obviously did not turn out well. We'll look at that picture in a second. One of the most recent story events shows how an abused child who wants to be a hero ends up as an unknowing enabler for a neglected child to end up as one of the biggest bastards in the setting. I'm explaining it poorly, but it's real sympathy for the devil stuff. That is very interesting, and definitely not the kind of game that I would expect to cover things like that. And that is what can be so weird about some of these things. Like, nothing is above criticism, period, you know? And I definitely understand, especially for like a game like Nikke, why people wouldn't want to play it or would be uncomfortable with it, and I don't criticize that view at all. I totally get it. You know what I mean? I think what just gets me is when people start getting at each other's throats for enjoying stuff when you don't have to play it, and I don't think that certain people enjoying certain games automatically makes them a bad person, especially because there are very diverse groups who enjoy different kinds of things that you would probably be surprised enjoy certain things, you know? So it can be really, it can be real headache-inducing when you start getting into these kinds of conversations, just mainly because of how, in some ways, I do understand why people are really jumpy, because of how obnoxious everything is now, how mean-spirited and cruel the internet is, and how filled with hate it is. And then sometimes I feel people will go after people who are just like them, just because they do enjoy certain things, and it feels a lot like friendly fire. And it's a shame. Future technology. It's hard to determine the age or origin of the asset. Carbon-14 dating tests have shown that its various components come from different periods, but said periods are unknown. In addition, while attempting reverse engineering, the technology my team acquired seems to defy the laws of physics, despite being powered by simple electricity. It seems to be able to manipulate its mass too. The asset. Yes, that is indeed a traveler. Alright, I'm paranoid about going through certain doors until we get a feel for where we're supposed to go. Okay, so this is probably the door we need to go through, so let's try the others. It does not look like anything good happened in here. The things I saw, it was all for nothing. We found the boys, but maybe it would have been better if we hadn't. It only made the rest of the volunteer team get quarantined. And what in the hell was that thing? Even if I wanted to run away, I couldn't. They twisted my ankle during yesterday's interrogation. Might be broken. I try to think about my family, my wife, my girls back home. The thought that I won't make it back for Christmas Eve hurts the most. And Arthur? Huh. He has no idea how lucky he is that he got sent home before all this madness started. And I'll never hear a word of thanks for that. This is getting more twisted the deeper that we get into it. That does not bode well for what's on the other side. Can't imagine this is going to be a cheery tape, so I guess prepare yourselves.
I've already told you. With a group of workers, we went underground under the main furnace to find the missing. Cut the bullshit about the workers, Comrade Batika. Just answer the questions. What did you see there? It was horrible. Their bodies, their skin, their limbs. It was as if something merged them with each other. Will this happen to all the infected? Answer the questions, Batika. What else did you see? There was something. Some kind of figure wrapped in steel. As if wearing armor. He was talking to me. What was he saying? Bring her to me.
What in the world? So he saw a traveler. He saw a traveler. Signing off. The Western Station no longer responds. I'm leaving the post. If anyone is reading this, withdraw. Steelworks have fallen. What is a traveler? Like us. Us individuals in these massive suits. But the interesting thing about that is that we're supposed to be from the future. And these recordings are from around the outbreak, which was in the 80s. Hey, welcome back, Bulgay. I hope your drive went okay. My mother got a flat as soon as I got home, so I had to help. Jesus Christ. No rest for the weary, huh? I'm very sorry to hear that. But I'm glad that, it was nice of you to help her out. This is not a good situation. Everyone is okay, that's great. Glad you're done with all that, and hopefully you get to unwind for the rest of the night. Definitely make sure you get something good to eat. Don't let them merge. Yes, I've been trying not to, because every time they do that, they become nearly impossible to kill. Exactly, you get it, Dandy. The whole game, make sure you get something to eat. Alright, what's in the locker?
Don't shoot!
That had to have been a Silent Hill reference.
I worked here, all right? I just want to get out.
Who are you?
Veronica Camille. I'm a doctor.
Is there anyone with you?
No, I'm here all alone.
Why are you here?
There's been an outbreak. We tried, but we couldn't stop it. The workers, they never had a chance.
No. What I am asking is why are you here now?
Please just let me go. There's no one here left alive. I saw nothing, I swear. I got lost when I was looking for...
Yes.
I was...
Veronica!
You are not alone.
Veronica? I found it! I'm up in the foreman's house! Veronica, you there?
Arthur, listen to me. They're here! Run!
It's all gone!
What has happened?
Huh. That is... That is really interesting.
I came across a woman. She probably came here with Arthur back. I must locate the foreman's office immediately. I am concerned the integrity of my phylactery may be compromised. It is almost like the collected essences leaking through.
Read that again, Adrian. I thought I read that too fast and I thought you were throwing it at Bulgay. I will definitely make sure that I grab something to eat as soon as I go offline because I am super hungry. I'm actually really, really hungry. But that was a really concerning moment there, because it seems like the essences we collect still possess some ability to kind of creep into our thoughts. Yep, I trust Bolgate to eat. Is the implication that you don't trust me to eat? Now Bolgate's throwing food at me. Besieged by fear. This place is turned to hell. Command got the fuck out as soon as this mess began. I don't know how many of us are left. I don't want to shoot people, but who can call these things people? I wonder if I should save the final rounds for myself. Will it stop me from becoming like them? Farewell, Patricia. At least I think that's how you would pronounce that. Maybe. I have no idea what's going on right now, but the controller is rumbling like crazy right now. So I assume something no good and very, very large is around. Retreat while you can. An employee reprimand. Krakow, June 12th, 1981. Notice of disciplinary sanction. Employee Artur Baraika is hereby formally reprimanded for general misconduct and violation of safety codes by performing duties under significant alcohol intoxication. A disciplinary fine is in the amount of 750 PLN has been imposed. Any future violations may result in more severe disciplinary actions. Gabriel Baraika, shift supervisor. This entire place is a bloodbath. It is not a pleasant place to be. Helicopter? We should have burned them all. Holy shit. So we're back in time, mid-outbreak. There's still people alive fighting them. Look at that. This is actually, this is a really, really well done, segment, I think. So it's very interesting how, isolated you still feel despite knowing that there are other people alive and active right now. I don't really feel any less alone, you know? And now that we're seeing these... Something is gonna attack me in here. Not much is a given. Kind of weird that it hasn't happened yet, though. Speak of the devil. Ow. Is that all of them? Alright, I think so. These guys are actually a lot more resilient, weirdly. Which is interesting, because I would kind of think that the ones that have been there for a while would be more resilient than the ones that are freshly infected. So that has some interesting implications, I feel. A compulsory leave. Krakow, June 20th, 1981. Notice of compulsory leave. Due to the negligence of the previous disciplinary sanction, employee Artur Baraika is hereby ordered to a compulsory leave to regain the proper state of sobriety required to perform the duties involved. The order takes immediate effect. Gabriel Baraika, shift supervisor. So they had a falling out. Unit expendable. Don't trust the broadcasts, they are not reinforcements. Managing Director, Production Manager, Shift Supervisor. Alright, I would assume that we're probably pretty close to where we're supposed to be. We're gonna look around and see if we can get some supplies, because I don't think we're gonna get there without a pretty significant fight. The Advocacy. Krakow, June 18th, 1981. Appeal against dismissal of employee. I am asking to reconsider the decision of dismissal of the employee Artur Baraika on June 17th, 1981. My request is motivated by the consideration of the employee's difficult personal circumstances, as well as the strong rapport he has established with other steelworks employees during his employment. I firmly believe that the benefits of allowing Mr. Baraika to retain his position outweigh the rationale for his dismissal. Gabriel Baraika. There's the original photo right there, two brothers. Sincerely yours, you self-righteous ass. I need neither your pity nor your protection. You just made a fool out of me in front of everyone. This is not what a brother would do. Next time, when you get all mushy and stuff, maybe think about helping with me. Or helping with Ma. Fuck you. Archer. Things really fell apart, huh? Okay, I'm assuming that's where I need to go. So let's see what's through here real quick. Alright, definitely glad I took that detour. But I will tell you this, guys. I am definitely quite hungry, so depending on where the next save room is, I might call it there so I can get something to eat. Can't imagine that that was anything positive. Now, speaking of which, we just got to a safe room. Let me manage my inventory and stuff real quick. I have leftovers for burritos if you want. I would happily take them. I would happily take them. Betrayal within the ranks. We should have never trusted those fucking doctors and that shithead officer Marzak. That prick betrayed us. He betrayed the armed forces of the People's Republic. As soon as you find any of them, you are to execute them like the rest of these fuckers. This is my last order. I'm going downstairs. It's time to solve the issue of the workers once and for all. Senior Officer Bernard T. Staba. This whole thing was, a massive shit show. I guess that's the way we would go. Who would have guessed? Yeah, I know, right? Well, I don't really have much, so I might as well save that,
Looks like somebody tried to break it apart without success.
Yeah, I do think Sally was right with his theory that this might all be some kind of time loop that, we're not as, separated from this as we think we are. Meaning the travelers. Some of us might have actually been there when all this was happening. But I do wonder what these things are. The monsters, or the orphans as they call them. Because they're saying that something seemed to be spreading like a virus, right? Like these were humans once. But according to the research, this is not a virus, or at least it doesn't seem to be one, and it's not really behaving like one. Yet people are becoming infected and mutating and such. And then there's us with our ability to, harvest the essences of other human beings, but then just then in that one cutscene, it seemed like Edward's essence was, taking over, if you will. So I feel like this might be some kind of cosmic horror thing, but something that we might have induced ourselves, you know what I mean? I don't know, it feels like this is going to be some huge existential thing, you know? Parasites? That's what I'm thinking it could be the case as well, but like, I am having my doubts that they are of planet Earth, you know? If you don't want to sleep at night, look into how many biological weapons have been developed by different militaries, and then look up soldiers talking about how a military actually functions in practice. Sweet dreams. Oh, believe me. Believe me, Valko, what you're describing is part of the reason why I really love Resident Evil. Because I know that Resident Evil is obviously, you know, it's absurd fiction and everything, right? And it uses fictional science. But the way that Resident Evil actually depicts its reasonings for things within its lore, it's actually pretty fascinating. Like, I know when I was in your chat yesterday I mentioned this, but this is not like to anybody who hasn't played a Resident Evil game, this is not really much of a spoiler because they don't really talk about this stuff in the games themselves. They do kind of get into it, but a lot of it is in like supplemental material, you know, the stuff that nerds like me pay attention to. But like the US government in the Resident Evil universe supported and funded Umbrella's complete lunacy in the early goings of the series because of a desire to have weaponry that would be effective against the Soviet Union, because they were so focused on trying to stomp out communism that they thought, hey, let's go ahead and financially support a utterly insane phony pharmaceutical company with a madman running it that is turning people into extremely infectious monsters that could cause an apocalypse if not handled correctly. And interestingly, in the most modern games in the series, the US government is still up to shady stuff because they don't want to be, they don't want to have inferior weaponry to China. So, yeah, there's a lot of little things in there in the lore. There's a lot more than that that goes into how things ended up the way that they did in the Resident Evil universe. That actually touches upon quite a few of the uglier aspects of humanity that I don't really ever see a lot of people talking about because, you know, they kind of focus on the more surface level aspects of the series, which is understandable. But there's a lot in there. The same is true of Dead Rising as well, actually. Existential stuff in a game with time travel? No way. Metal Gear Solid has done it before too? Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, Kojima, yeah. I understand people aren't the biggest fans, or some people aren't Kojima's biggest fans or whatever, but Kojima definitely seems to have an understanding of certain things, to put it a certain way. But yeah, absolutely. I'm at such a crossroads because I am super hungry, but I'm also so tempted. Like, the story is getting really, really good. I kind of want to see what's going to happen next, but usually when they throw a save room at me, it is right before a pretty lengthy combat sequence, and I doubt I'll come across another save room anytime soon. So it would probably be for the best if I did end stream now. So sadly, I think that's what I'll do, even though I really want to hit this A button. But I'm quite hungry. So let's go ahead and I'll save again just because I'm paranoid. Pause it. We'll go ahead and try to see if we can find somebody cool to raid into. Go eat, dude. Yeah, I'll take your advice, Dandy. Thank you for looking out for me. Hold on. Get some pizza. I would love that, honestly. Alright, let's go ahead and see who is live right now. Actually, surprisingly, not a whole lot of people online. But we do have somebody that we're going to go ahead and raid into. We're going to go ahead and raid into AK Nyx. She is a voice actress. She is the voice actress who played Vera in IT Never Ends, the game we were playing on stream the other day. And she was kind enough to raid into me and hang around for a bit, watching us play. So she is currently playing Dead by Daylight. So we're gonna go ahead and return the favor and raid into her. I think there was a new killer released in Dead by Daylight. So I assume she is probably trying out that new killer. So yes, we're gonna raid into AK Nyx. She's a really cool person, very talented voice actress. So definitely drop a follow and say hi. She's actually really, really nice. This will be our raid message as usual. There we go. And yes, I will definitely go get something to eat. So all of you, please make sure that you, if you haven't eaten, make sure that you do the same. And get some sleep too. That means you, Valko. I know you were also tired, so make sure you get some sleep if you can. But yes, everybody, thank you for joining me today. I'm not sure if I'm going to be live tomorrow because I do have a couple of important things I really need to take care of. But we will see. If I can get all that sorted out in time, then I might be on again. If not, I'll probably see some of you around in other people's streams and whatnot. And of course, I'm usually pretty active on Discord. Witches be crazy, right? I'll go to my Odin sleep, I promise. Alright, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And all the great conversations as usual. You guys are awesome. And thank you again to Augustine for the support. For the motherboard that I'm working on getting. It means so much more than you could ever realize. Thank you so much, Augustine. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this going. I don't mind if you want to use that. I don't mind if... Yeah, I was gonna say, Dandy, if you want that to be your raid message, I don't mind at all. Alright, off we go. Alright, hold on, I'm just trying to make sure my stuff is ready on my end. Alright, I'm ready. Okay, everybody, that's gonna be it for me. I will see you all possibly tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then very, very soon. Take care of yourselves, as always, and until next time, Stay spellbound. Good night, everybody.
For the days ahead of us, put your hands up, wave it side to side for good luck. For the nights like this, put your hands up, love the moment even from dusk. Yo, you always got my back, and of course I got your back.